Hello and welcome to Cull the Week, covering KFPL Season 2. I am Brobnar89 flying solo for this game, this matchup, this face-off between SadCryBear and SCSteele. Season 2 of KFPL is going to be a triad. Each player brings 3 decks. Your opponent gets to ban one of the 3, and you must win with your remaining 2. Going to take a look real quick at SadCryBear's 3 decks, starting with Light Tasker Market Sheriff. This is a Worlds Collide deck. First thing I notice here is the recurring Infernus. You've got 2 Inferni. You've got Not Finished With You to help pull them back. And you've got Hysteria to pick them up and play them back down again. So you're going to be able to purge a lot of your opponent's cards with that Infernus. You've got a Harbinger of Doom. That is the only board wipe in the deck. Hysteria acts as a bit of a slow wipe, but not going to knock those creatures out. Just going to send them back to the hand. You've got a Snag and a Snaglet to act as a unreliable lock and a soft lock. Logos is a bit go, 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 as Logos is wont to do. Got some Vapors here. Got an Eat-Eye with Hologramophone. Help keep that opponent's Amber cost up. With 2 Library of the Damned, you could really see that Eat-Eye jacking up those costs, but you've only got the 1. And not a lot of ways to bring them back. So other than the Not Finished With You, not a ton of ways to bring Eat-Eye back. So shouldn't be the focal point of the strategy with this deck, I don't think. And you've got 2 Igors to help move things along. Quant as well. Shadows. Chimera Eclipse is going to let you play those Infernus yet again. Too much to protect, and double Ronnie going to make your opponent really think twice before they go to too high of numbers there. You've got a Sneck Lifter for some hard R, steal your opponent's artifacts. And you've got 2 J Vindas with a Bad Penny. That can be a neat little combo. Of course, you probably still end up discarding the Bad Penny in the end just because you don't want it clogging up your hand. Looking over at SadCryBear's second deck, you've got Nazar, the Cynic of Astrology. It's an Age of Ascension deck. Quite a bit of board control over here. You've got 2 Unlocked Gateways. You've got a 3 Fates. 2 Binding Irons, laying down some control there. Not a ton of creatures in the Dis house here, which is going to make it a little bit easier for you to make use of those unlocked gateways. It's always disappointing to have a handful of creatures in an unlocked gateway. Logos is once again a go-go Logos. You've got 2 Archimedes, an Igor, and an XYZ Researcher. So, of course, you're going to be able to play down the Igor and or XYZ next to the Archimedes and hopefully be able to pick them back up once they or pop them into your archive once they're destroyed. Shadows. ×3 Furtive Investors. A little underwhelming there. But you do have Brend together with Life for Life, which is a nice way to burst up. Between the 2 cards there, you get 4 Amber. And you get to do 6 damage to one of your opponent's creatures. If you get both of those in your hand at the same time, you're in a good spot. Nerve Blast can also effectively take out your Brend if you have 2 in your hand. And of course, Ronnie Ronnie's always solid to see. You always like to have Ronnie. Moving on to SadCryBear's final deck here. SadCryBear, I should mention, playing for more Wolf Pack. Final deck is the Redeemer that runs at Rust. First thing I notice out of the Redeemer that runs at Rust is definitely gonna be that Gravitron. Does it actually get played that much? Maybe not. With the autoencoder, you could see it being a little bit easier to set it up, and double Lethalogica, you could definitely see better chance of getting that Ultra Gravitron set up, especially with the +1 draw. If one of those draw icons fell onto one of those Lethalogica, I'm not sure. Let me look here. No. Oh yes. No, one has a draw and one has 3 Amber Pips. Holy moly. Okay. Hello, Infernus food. So yeah, definitely some serious efficiency out of this Logos here. With the Dinobot, I really love Dinobot with the autoencoder. So you can get a draw, a discard, and an archive all at once if you have your autoencoder out. That is just, that's a dream. That's the dream, for sure. Out of Saurian, we see a big dino board, lots of big creatures that you're going to have out there. Senator Quintana going to disincentivize reaping for both sides. Very interesting is Senator Quintana indeed. Got a board wipe out of Axiom. Some Chant of Huberi. Hard R out of Reclaimed by Nature. Another board wipe with the Savage Clash. And you've got a Vault's Blessing here. With the 10 mutant creatures in this deck, that could be monumental. You have the potential for a massive burst with a Vault's Blessing play here. Now, just looking at these 3 decks at their face value, without necessarily knowing what Steel is bringing, my instinct would be to ban Light Tasker, Market Sheriff, the double Ronnie, double Infernus with all that recursion. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to mess with that. Get that out of here, please. Especially if you have a deck that relies on certain cards, certain particular cards, you do not want those double Infernus played. In a perfect world, played twice, recurred with Not Finished with You, replayed with Hysteria, and then shuffled back in with Chimera Eclipse. Like, that is just bleh, nasty. All right, and on to SCSteele's decks. SCSteele representing the Grey Riders. First deck for Steel here is Omnisnout, She That Teases the Cave. A mass mutation deck with 2 gateways. Going to be able to clean up that board, although at the cost of chains. Lots of amber control in this disc. You've got those Brabbles. You've got that Pandemonium. So definitely more of a amber control type disc. Although there is plenty of amber control also over in Shadows. You've got the Long Fingers. There are 7 mutants in this deck. So Johnny Longfingers is going to be doing a lot of work for this deck, I hope to see. Together with the Gateway, you can set up a really big play. Get a lot of mutants down on the board. Pop that Gateway. And boom. You have stolen a bunch of amber. Double Rad Penny works really well with the long fingers. Are there any damage pips in here? No damage pips, unfortunately. So it's really fun when you have a long fingers and some pennies, and there are some damage pips in your Shadows house. That can lead to some madness indeed. Star Alliance, looking at 2 Xeno trainings. And Antony, together with the Pandemonium, that is a lot of capture in this deck here. A bit of anti-synergy with the double gateway to Dis, but you know it's kind of fine. You know, you don't necessarily need to keep the amber on there forever, just long enough to stop your opponent from forging. 3 Kirby's in this Star Alliance house, going to give you lots of efficiency. Playing down some Rad Pennies with a Kirby, that's pretty nice. Playing down a Brabble, yeah. Great. Wonderful. Moving on to the second deck here, we have Hernandez of Met Block Shelter. Another ×2 Binding Irons deck here. So we might see a Binding Irons showdown. This one also coming with 2 Harbingers of Doom. Lots of chances to blow up that board. Oxtet, Greater Oxtet, together with a lot of efficiency cards out of Star Alliance here. Oh yeah, look at that. Sass on Star Alliance. Boom. 33. You've got the Kirby. You got the Val Jericho. You've got 2 Information Officer Gray. And you've got one of my favorite cards, Helmsman Spears. And you've got a Kirby as well. So lots of opportunity for efficiency in this Star Alliance. You could see just playing and discarding and drawing tons of cards out of this Star Alliance house. If you can set it up nice and cozy behind a Molina or the Oxtet, you can really, really get going if you get that Star Alliance efficiency engine going early. Also got a couple of Frains in here to do some capturing, a little bit of amber control in there. And I think the plan with this deck is to archive up all these Dino cards. Try to play out your Star Alliance and Dis so you can pack away Dinos. You got double Sic Sempered and you've got the Tribute. So you're going to want to try to tribute up to your big Dino boys and ladies. And Sic Sempered, get all that amber. Or put the Scudum on there so your opponent can't get it. Lots of taunting and warding available in this deck with the Legionaries and the Auxiliary and the Oxtet. So lots of opportunities to keep these puny little Star Alliance critters alive. Cloaking Dongle going to help out with that too. And keep them alive and keep them churning your deck for you. Final deck out of SCSteele here. Ooh, this is a nasty looking deck here. This is a nasty looking deck. This is the man who boosts the stars. I want to say this is a known deck. I feel like this is I feel like I've heard this name somewhere before. Shaka would know. So this has 2 Control of the Weeks. This has an Ember Imp. Really lay down that control, that classic Disc Coda control. Just mess with your game plan. Also got a Gateway. Blow things up when it gets too challenging. And a number of respectable and useful disc creatures here. Shadows with incredible steal potential. Too much to protect with an Urchin, a Bruno, a Nerve Blast, a Skeleton Key, and Duskrunner. All these ways that you can keep your opponent, do the too much to protect and keep your opponent off check. Your opponent is never going to want to burst up past 6, so long as that too much to protect has not come down yet. And of course, looking over at Untamed, just massive burst potential. So this is a classic coda. Bursty Untamed, Steely Shadows, Controlly Disc. Just bleh. You do not want to face this. I say there's a very good chance that this is what gets banned, unless I'm missing something from these deck lists here, which is entirely possible. Yeah, 3 Pixies, Key Charge, Dew Fairy, Mimicry. Always great utility out of Mimicry. Never underestimate Mimicry. Excellent card. Life Web also got some great burst potential there, so huge potential to burst up to gigantic numbers and then just Key Charge and close it out. So I definitely think we see a ban on the man who boosts the stars here. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at what does indeed get banned. And it looks like SCSteele has banned the Market Sheriff. No surprises there. Don't want to see those Inferni played again and again and again. And SadCryBear has banned the man who boosts the stars. Again, no surprises there. That Coda Rush is pretty hard to deal with. With that, we'll go ahead and hop into the first game, which is going to be Hernandez of Meatlock Shelter for SC, and SadCryBear is going with Nazar, the Cynic of Astrology. All right, the players are ready to go. We've got SadCryBear on the top with Nazar, and SCSteele on the bottom, running Hernandez. Looks like we're going to have to see if the efficiency from Hernandez will be able to overcome the double binding irons out of SadCryBear with Nazar. SadCryBear with the first turn here. Looks like both players are keeping their opening hands. And SadCryBear is starting out with that classic Eureka. Can't argue with that. 3 Amber, 2 cards in the archive, giving him 8 cards to choose from on his next turn. Gotta love that opener. Almost always a hard mull for that Eureka. And now we see why Steele kept her opening hand as well, starting off with an Information Officer Gray, archiving up. Gotta love that. Putting a Legionary into the archive for later. Gotta keep those dinos archived up. And Stealth Mode coming down. I think that's the general approach with this deck. You want to put away as much Saurian as you can for a big dino turn. Play out everything else. Interesting turn from SadCryBear. Just the Archimedes coming down. I'm very curious what is in SadCryBear's hand. Do they have shadows? Does he have some shadows he doesn't want to put out quite yet because he wants Steele to get some more amber first? Very interesting. Steele playing her own binding irons. Double binding irons. Ugh. Ouch. with a Gleeful Mayhem. Taking out her own gray. SadCryBear says, I like all those cards. Yes. Yes, indeed. Who does not like all those cards? Mac the Knife getting purged for SadCryBear off of the Born Its Touch there. Youch, you're going to miss that interhouse play, I'm sure. SadCryBear playing out some Logos pips here. Lab work, building up that archive. Master the Theory, going to help a little bit with that as well. Steele going into Star Alliance. I wonder if we'll see some more archiving here, trying to put away those dinos. Kirby comes down. Spears behind the Molina. I wonder if SadCryBear is going to be able to deal with that right now. Misery exploit coming down for no effect. Getting a little bit of efficiency there. If SadCryBear cannot deal with this Spears here, that could end up being a problem for him. He's going to forge. He's going to be able to forge right here, but the efficiency of his Spears just digging for those dinos, I imagine, could end up being a real big problem. First key coming out for SadCryBear. Going into Shadows. Pulling that archive. Furtive Investors, not going to do too much. Get that pip. Brend coming down. Now, does SadCryBear have life for life? Be able to take out that Spears and steal 3 Amber. He's going to be in a very strong position if he's got life for life here. Ronnie coming down. Get that 1 steal. Lamindra. No life for life. Steele's got to be breathing a sigh of relief after that. Does she go into Star Alliance and go for that efficiency? Yep. Star Alliance is the call. I always like to reap with Spears first, see what I can get. But she has a different plan. Val coming down. Gonna be a long march to the center for that Captain Val. Gonna need to put a lot of creatures out before she can be useful there. Spears reaping. And discarding quite a few cards. Sic Sempered, Harbinger, Draining Touch, and Lethal. 5 cards. The whole hand that remained. So saying no thank you to that dis. And I see why the Sic Sempered gets discarded. It's a shame to see Sic Sempered discarded, but it makes sense. It makes sense given that there were no other dinos in the hand there. What are we going to see off the Kirby here? Up to check is Steele. Kirby Gonna play out a Phalanx Strike to take out that Ronnie. All the way up to 8 now is Steele, and blowing up the board with that unlocked gateway. SadCryBear is gonna pull Steele off check there. Put himself up to 5. Fairly comfortable position. Dinos is the house call from Steele here. Odoak coming down. Wishing she had that on the last turn, I'm sure. Tribute. Gonna capture all of SadCryBear's Amber. That's going to be a very difficult Odoak to get rid of. And the Scudum. Scudum comes down on the Odoak. That's very nice. Very nice for Steele here. If she can forge on this turn, she's basically evened out the game. In fact, put herself ahead because she will have the board and fewer chains. I have neglected to mention that both players are playing heavily chained here. 3 Fates. Gonna pop that ward and get rid of those other 2 dinos. Not enough to get that Amber back. Well, SadCryBear would need bounce, which I don't think he has in this deck. Oh, and the Sic Sempered. The second Sic Sempered from Steele puts her up on check for her second key with 8. She has evened and taken the lead here in this first game. Very, very nice move. That was fun. That was fun to see. Gotta love that. Gotta love that move. SadCryBear is a sad bear indeed. Nerve Blast. Doing a little bit of damage. Life for Life going to blow up the Dust Imp. Get some Amber of his own. Up to check on that second key, but he cannot stop Steele from forging her own second key. Looks like she's going to be able to keep SadCryBear off. With 2 frames. Walls coming down. Does she bring back the Scudum? Ah, the Blaster comes back. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Play it out now. Get that pip. Stun the Sloon. Just off check for the second key is SadCryBear here. Steele in a pretty commanding position with board superiority. 2 Amber on her way to the third key. SadCryBear still has a second unlocked gateway that has not turned up yet, with 13 cards left in the deck. We'll see if it comes in time. Still operating with 1 chain is SadCryBear. Second Binding Irons has not shown up quite yet here. Unlocked Gateway was in the hand and makes for a 1-card turn for SadCryBear. That puts him up to check on 7. Steele. Gonna have to see if she's got the tools she needs to stop check again. Or if she goes for more of a burst up and try to win quick strategy. Still a very close game here. Greater Oxtet coming down. I like that one. And that's going to be it. Purging the Harbinger. She's digging for something. Evening up this game is SadCryBear with the second key. Igor going to do some digging of his own. What's he looking for? Finally, the memory chip comes out. Little late to the party, memory chip. Librarian and XYZ, all these efficiency cards coming out very, very late. Sutterkin as well. Suddenly, SadCryBear is maybe wishing to have that Harbinger around. Going disc once again. Binding Irons. You want efficiency? No, not allowed. Dendrix, discarding the Tesmaw from SadCryBear's hand. And Oxtet is taking out the Librarian. Back to SadCryBear, much in the same position we were 1 or 2 turns ago. 1 amber to 2. Minimal boards. Both players looking for some amber generation to try to close this game out here. SadCryBear still going into Logos. I'm going to guess we're going to see some reaping here. Building up a respectable archive is SadCryBear. 3 in the archive right now. Archimedes next to XYZ. And a couple of reaps. Steele. Star Alliance is the call. My guess is efficiency is the move. Gray coming down. Chant of Hubris into the archive. So yeah, it looks like she's moving for some efficiency here. Cloaking Dongle comes down. Both of these players have kind of run out of gas a little bit as we come to the end. Both trying to limp over the finish line first. SadCryBear going into disc, so they must have something good in their hand because reaping for 3 seems decent at this point, right? Threat and check. Okay, pulling the archive. Yep, I'm expecting some big moves out of SadCryBear here. Pain reaction. Gets a pip. Misery exploit. Ooh. Ooh, ouch. Misery exploit, binding irons. SadCryBear has burst up a little bit here. An Onyx Knight takes out the odd power creatures. And the Scullion is going to destroy the Onyx Knight, which will take out the Octet, and then go back into the archive from the Archimedes here. That is a neat little pocket trick there. Steele. Can she take SadCryBear down from 8? What tools does she have? Tribute? Tribute would do it. If we see another tribute into Sic Sempered, I'm gonna... Okay, she's calling Saurian. We know she had the chant in the archive. She pulled that. She hasn't conceded, so I have to imagine that she's got something that's going to stop it here. And I don't know what else would do it other than a tribute. She says she's doing math. Always my favorite part of Keyforge. Ooh, Sic Sempered might be a little hard to pull off. The tribute will get a stop, but the Sic Sempered won't get the amber unless she has both of them, because the Scullion's out, so she's not going to have anything that's 7 or higher. SadCryBear says, was really hoping that tribute would not come right back. Yeah, well, that's Keyforge for you, SadCryBear. Sorry to say. All the cards you don't want your opponent to have always seem to have a way of making their way back into their hand right away. Legionary, warding up that gray. Tribute. There it is. Onto the Legionary. Loaded up with 5 amber. Now, if she's got both Sic Sempered here, that's just wild. Wild. Chant of Hubris. So it looks like maybe not, or maybe only 1 Sic Sempered. There's 1. Okay. 2. Another Legionary to ward the first. So I'm guessing no. And there's Failing Strike. Yeah. Taking out that Archimedes. Solid choice. Get rid of that recursion. And getting the XYZ. Yeah. You don't want your opponent reaping at this point. Up to 7 is Steele. Bringing SadCryBear down to 4. Very impressive turn. Oh, those dinos. Now, did Steele redraw the Sic Sempered, or draw the second Sic Sempered, I should say. Although it might not matter if SadCryBear is going to play a Ronnie here. There it is. And I don't know what tools Steele is going to have to bring SadCryBear down from 10 here. Frayne, even both, is not going to be enough. Going into dinos. Taking out that Igor. Sic Sempered. But that's the game. SadCryBear taking down the first game in a very close match here. Hernandez not quite able to pull it off. Nazar getting retired for the series. Scullion saved me, says SadCryBear. Yeah, that is definitely true. If that Scullion had not been there, sure did, says Steele. Yeah, if that Scullion had not been there and the Ronnie, as Steele says, then she would have burst up to numbers that I think would have been pretty unmanageable for SadCryBear there. All right. We're going to move on to the second game here. Looks like SCSteele has elected to go second and has elected to keep Hernandez of Met Block Shelter. SadCryBear is, of course, bringing this very fun-looking MM deck, the Redeemer that runs at Rust, with all the efficiency. I'm a little worried here about the Sic Sempered for Steele. SadCryBear can get the Gravitron out. It's going to be pretty hard for Steele to make use of the Sic Sempered. Although, there's not a ton of other gigantic, or I shouldn't say gigantic, but there's not a ton of other big creatures for SadCryBear here. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, interesting. SadCryBear starting off with the Reclaimed by Nature on the first turn. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't believe there are any artifacts in Hernandez, so that's a solid move. Just get that pip out. Get rid of that card. Ooh, a Purge on the Vault's Blessing for Steele. That is a great move off the Bornit's Touch. You know that for sure you are not getting any amber off of a Vault's Blessing, so you are just denying your opponent value, purging that. Well, I don't like that, says SadCryBear. Yeah, no. No, indeed. It's solid opener. SadCryBear sealing one with the Shrix and then putting it onto the Harbinger. That is a nice little move there. Quintana. You want to reap? You're going to pay. Draining Touch from Steele onto the Shrix. Okay, I guess she figures she can afford to put another amber onto the Harbinger there. SadCryBear getting out the auto encoder. Discarding the Munchling to put something into the archive. Okay, maybe that's what Steele was thinking here. She's got the Scudum, so she's happy to reap and put an amber on there. First Sic Sempered taking out Quintana there. Not quite the same rollout we saw in the last game. We haven't seen any Star Alliance yet. And I think Steele wants to see that Star Alliance early, get that edge on efficiency, rather than seeing all this Saurians early. I think you want the Saurians to come out all in a pack there, so probably a little bit disappointed. Discarding to the autoencoder is SadCryBear. Hard discarding to that autoencoder. Pulling, oh, interesting. So discarding the beast and then pulling it back with Resurgence and then playing it. Discarding the Savage Clash there. Steele with a Vow much more likely to get to the center of the battle line than in the last game. And Stealth Mode. No actions for you, SadCryBear. Going into Untamed. Getting some burst going. Up to check. For the first key of the game is SadCryBear. But a Frayne is going to shut that down from Steele. Putting that Amber onto the Harbinger. Yeah, that makes sense. Vow getting a little bit closer to check for Steele here. She's going to want to take care of that Pismire before forging. Thinking is SadCryBear. Sometimes that is a challenge. SadCryBear going into Saurian and playing sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. Going for the Harbinger. Blowing up the board. Stealing one. And stealing another with the Shrix here. Steele playing the Legionary. Warning it up. Odoak coming down behind. Are we going to see a tribute here? Last time, she tributed onto the Odoak and warded it. So I don't think so. I think SadCryBear is going to get the first key here. I don't see any other stop in Saurian that SadCryBear has, or that Steele has here. Yeah, it's a chant. Oh, okay. So we are going to see Sic Sempered. Chant moves an Amber from Shrix onto Odoak, and then Odoak gets the Sic Sempered. Move that Amber into the archive, into the pool for Steele. Countering SadCryBear's check with her own. The bear is going for Logos. Putting down a rather intimidating board here. taking dominance. Steel is going to be able to forge. So, behind on board, equal footing in keys and amber. Wonder if we'll see the second Harbinger here. Buzzle. Gonna do some purging. What gets fought? Shrix, I'm guessing. Oh, Dinobot. Okay, yeah. Dinobot's got an amber there, and Dinobot can really reduce the appeal of going into Logos, but okay, Misery exploit. Yeah, so getting that damage onto those two creatures and then getting the value off Misery exploit. Purging away all those critters. You don't really need them. They're fine. They're fine in the discard, or in the purge pile, I should say. SadCryBear is going to go for Logos, though. Getting that super value off of the Dinobot with the discard and the draw and the archive off the autoencoder. Even Ivan going to be able to steal one there. Group Think Tank, I'm guessing, is going to reap or fight. I think I would reap. Oh, but wait. It's coming. Are we going to see the Gravitron here? Oh, no. Okay. Nope. Discards the butt to the autoencoder. And not going to play Ultra Gravitron this turn. So sometimes you play It's Coming for the amber and then just hold on to whatever half you have and wait. Usually that's just if you're like going to go to check, though. You don't want to give away anything if you're just going to hold it anyways. But I guess here it makes sense. Get the amber, discard the bottom for the efficiency. Think Tank, gonna take out that Buzzle. Very close here. SadCryBear still with the board dominance. And slightly ahead in amber. SCSteele definitely in a manageable position. Like this is far from a decided game. Gray coming down behind Melina. What got archived there? An auxiliary, so just kind of trying to clean up the hand a little bit. Frayne putting down that amber. And Walls bringing back the Scudum as Walls. We have not seen the tribute yet, but we have seen both Sic Sempered. So tribute Scudum could be a powerful way to gain back control of this game. Already in a pretty good position, evening up the amber count and kind of evening up the board. Although Think Tank could kind of just wipe everything if that's what SadCryBear wants to do. Which I mean wouldn't be a bad move. Just looking here, you get to use Dinobot. Ivan's not gonna be able to do anything because it's stunned, but Group Think Tank, just take out that board, get that amber back, and then play whatever's in the hand. with 2 in the archive. There's got to be some Logos there. Logos is the call, so I expect to see an action off Group Think Tank and just kind of clean up here. Yep, taking that archive. Dinobot. Letho. What got discarded? Just an attendant. And another Lethologica. Gosh, I love that card. Just so much fun. So much Logos fun. I wonder if there are more Logos cards in the draw. Yeah, they're well, maybe. Yeah, there are. And there it is. There's the boom from the think tank. Wow, look at those 3 pips on that Lethologica. Oh, how Steel wishes she had an Infernus right now. Forge compiler coming down. Not going to do much here. I almost would have just discarded that. Well, okay. Maybe you don't forge, right? But I almost still think it might have been worth just discarding that. Like 1 ward on a group think tank. Nah. SadCryBear taking command of this game. Can Steel wrest it back? Yes. Yes, you can. With that tribute and a Scudum. Chanted Hubris. Gonna make one of those Amber hers. But a little bit later. Oh no, right now. With a Failing Strike. Oh no. We're not gonna put more Amber onto that auxiliary. Interesting choice. Okay. Oh, I guess it's only gonna do the 1 damage. That's right, because you only have the 1 creature out. So yeah, that makes sense. Steel up to 7 and in check herself. SadCryBear. Down to 4. Real swingy game. Both of these games have been very, very swingy. Going into Dinos. Gonna take that archive. 1 Shrix is already wasted. Is there another one? Oh, yeah, no. 2 are already in the discard. So yep, there's the stop. There's the stop with the 2nd Centurion here. Is SadCryBear going to be able to get to check himself? No. Just a stop. Steel going for the Spears play behind that auxiliary. Real late efficiency coming out here from Steel. There's the gray. To put away the Oxted. All those efficiency cards. All the efficiency cards in the bottom. That's gotta hurt. Can Steel put herself into check here. It's going to force SadCryBear to respond. Cloaking Dongle going on to the Centurion. That's a interesting choice. I'm very curious why she did that. She must have some plan that I'm not seeing here. Huh. Oh. Right, of course. She didn't want to put it on her own creatures because she didn't want to make her own creatures elusive so that SadCryBear could fight with the Centurion and capture Amber without damaging the Centurion. That makes perfect sense. Even with the Hazardous 2, Centurion would still only take 1. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So she's in check. Centurion is going to not be able to fight anything because you hit the Brutodon and you will die because that Hazardous. So that Amber will go right back. Does SadCryBear have a stop here? SadCryBear getting some Amber off the Lodon, but it does not trigger. Stopping with the Pismire. Oh, and a very big Pismire. Rapid Evolution. It's going to make that Pismire very, very tough to take care of for Steele. It might just be worth it to just pay. Just pay up. Steele playing that Bornitz once again. Came back to the top. Oh, the triple Amber Pimp Lethalogica is out. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. That is the problem with having those cards loaded up with tons of pips on them. Once they're purged, bye-bye. Speaking of bye-bye, SCSteele. Getting down that Harbinger into Gleeful Mayhem. Wiping the board. Putting herself up to a very respectable 11 Amber. SadCryBear is going to forge there, but will he be able to stop Steele from forging the final key? Gravitron. Going to be the only play out of SadCryBear. Trying to dig for something. Dig for some answers. Can Steele get to check? I think that's going to be pretty big. Kirby coming down. Interesting. On that side, I wonder if there are 2 more creatures. Okay, there's 1. Because I think Steele's going to want to get that efficiency. Walls is bringing back the dongle. Stunning. The Gravitron. There's the second creature. Frayne with a capture. Playing another Frayne with nothing to capture. but a big, big board of Star Alliance. Unfortunately, both of those, the Kirby and the Val, not triggering there, but up to 7 is Steele. And SadCryBear is going to call it there. Wow, that was a neat game. Lots of back and forth. Mid-game, I definitely thought that was going to be SadCryBear's game there. The efficiency was just insane, but Steele held on, kept waiting. I'm sure that she would have liked to open up with this giant board of Star Alliance, but there you have it. Strong finish, and I was waiting for you to bring him out all game. Yes, me too. I was also waiting for that. As I'm sure you were waiting for that big board of Star Alliance. And with the Octet too, like, if you have this early mid game, like, you are so happy. It worked out. You know, she did win the game, so that's what matters. She forged the 3 keys first, but man, got to imagine she's really wishing that she saw this a lot sooner. Sometimes you Gravitron and sometimes you don't. Yep. All right, we're moving on to game 3. So that means we're going to see Redeemer versus... Ooh, it's an MM matchup. We've got Redeemer versus Omnisnout. She that teases the cave. Oh, this is a fun-looking deck. I'm excited. All right, starting off with a Kirby is Steele. Oddity of that little first turn thing, you do get to play the second card off the Kirby if you are playing the first little mini turn there. That works, but Wild Wormhole does not. Putting out a big old board of dinos is SadCryBear, and Steele dropping down the Bobble. That's very nice. Together with the Kirby, you go back into a disc turn, you could get a lot done. You can get a lot done. Pandemonium and Implosion. Okay. Getting a lot of pips out there is Steele. Interesting choice to go with the Centurion. I guess she figures that SadCryBear is more likely the one to be in the position to do some reaping, which is, what resulted. Since SadCryBear has more and bigger creatures out. And of course, Kirby is taken care of there. Makes perfect sense. First Rad Penny coming out. That is nice. SCSteele is happy to have that come out nice and early here. Opportunist, I love that on a penny. Oh, mug. Is she going to mug herself? She's mugging the Galeotops. Okay. Yeah, that's solid. Make your opponent fight off the penny. I would have been very tempted to mug my own penny, shuffle it back in, and get the amber that your opponent would have had otherwise. But I think there's a very solid argument for going for the Galeotops instead. SadCryBear getting a Lodon and a Pismire out. Just getting that stop and getting a little bit more amber. I wonder if SadCryBear has a big Logos hand that he's holding on to. Because otherwise, I don't know why he wouldn't have gone Dinos there. And well, I guess Reaping would have made the put a lot of Amber onto your own board there. So there's that. Ooh, access denied onto the Shrix. I like it. I like it. No Reaping for you, Mr. Shrix. No stealing. Getting a nice efficient turn out of Star Alliance is Steele. And interesting, it looks like Steele decided to discard the Gateway there. Okay. Double Xeno training. Lots and lots of Amber. Has Steele. Lots of captured Amber as well. Lethologica into Lethologica for SadCryBear. Getting those autoencoders out. Getting that autoencoder out. Forge compiler, again, doing the, it's coming to discard the bottom. And a big old board of creatures that now get the ward. Thank you, Mr. Forge compiler. Yikes. Still not in check, but Steele's got to be a little bit concerned here about that big board. Gateway, well, one Gateway is already in the discard. And even so, playing 3 chains to only wipe your own board, that hurts. That is painful. It was a very well timed Forge compiler there. Steele is playing down the Brabble. Gonna make it hurt to take out that Scout Pete. Quintana is still out there, so it does disincentivize SadCryBear from using his board to rebound. He's going untamed, so he's not going to be doing a ton of reaping anyways. Purging off that Bobble. Bye-bye, Bobble. I almost wonder if Steele wouldn't have been better off discarding the Bobble. I don't think she got to use it much, and it would have meant that SadCryBear had to purge their own autoencoder, which probably would have meant that they just discarded it, right? I guess you still play it, because, yeah, I don't know. There's not a big loss there. Ooh, a big Reclaimed by Nature from SadCryBear here. After taking out the Scout Pete, a huge burst of Amber from SadCryBear. He's got almost enough to forge 3 keys here. So, yikes. How many mutants were out when he played that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Amber off the Vault's Blessing. Plus 4 from Scout Pete and the 1 pip. Ouch. Ouch. That was big. It's going to be a uphill climb for Steele here. No scaling amber control, so she's going to have to rely on a big long fingers play. We haven't seen long fingers yet. How many mutants does Steele have? The 2 pennies. Oh, man. Kirby. Subject Kirby's. There's one. Playing down one of the pennies. Even so, it's going to be tough because she's going to need to get the long fingers out and then blow up the board somehow. That's a challenge. She's got her work laid out for her, that's for sure. Getting the Garcia down was good. Make him pay 8. So now he's down to 6. So she's definitely in a better position. They're a little more matched up here, but that big old warded board out of SadCryBear is going to be a challenge to deal with here. Saurian is the pick for SadCryBear. Okay. Taking out the Garcia with the Shrix rather than Reaping. That makes sense. And the subject Kirby is going to go down as well. That Pismire is getting real work done because SadCryBear doesn't have to worry about steel forging here. That's massive. Humble. Exhausting that rad penny. Yeah, not the best use of Humble, but Humble is kind of a not very exciting card. Centurion. Oh, sorry about that. It's going to take out the Quintana. So that Galapagos can reap without putting Amber on himself. Axiom's getting discarded to the autoencoder. Steele finally getting some way to manage that Pismire, but it's just a bounce back to the hand. So SadCryBear can just play it back down on the next turn. Getting some Amber control down is Steele. Bursting up to 10. Keeping in this game. I have to admit, I'm very impressed. I did not have high hopes for Steele after that Vault's Blessing that just looked devastating. But she has pushed through. She has pushed through. Now, I think we're going to see the Pismire come back down. Yeah, going into Untamed. So she's still going to have a tall order. She'll be at best at 2. And it looks like SadCryBear is going to be able to get to check again here. And the rapid evolution on the Pismire again. Oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot. So up to 7 is SadCryBear. Can Steele stop? Presumably with some steel. Long Fingers, I think, is the out here. Although there is a Antony as well that we haven't seen, I believe. Yeah. Shadows is the call. Maybe a bow. Old Bruno. Yeah, that'll do it. Quite a considerable amount of amber control in Steele's deck here, so maybe I was overreacting when I saw that Vault's Blessing. Although it looks like she kind of had to take that turn to get a stop here because she did not get a whole lot done. Not in check. Reap twice with the 2 pennies. Only played Old Bruno from the hand. She's going to have to hope she drew the Antony or Long Fingers or something. Because, yeah, that Old Bruno is not long. Not long for this world. Taking out the bad penny with the amber on it, going up to 9 is SadCryBear. It's going to be very hard, I think, for Steele to overcome this. Although, again, if Antony's in hand, that does it. 10, 11. Gonna need Antony and some burst because she's got to get to check. Star Alliance, there's Antony. Does she have the burst? Not quite. Not quite. Universal Translator gets 1 more. But with that Pismire down, she's still 3 off from check. SadCryBear, just looking at the board, can use Pismire to take out the Antony and still be able to reap twice. And Pismire will still be alive. With 5 health, no less, so. All that amber on Antony. A lot of it still left over from that big Vault's Blessing burst. That was just brutal. Logos is the call, okay. Must have some removal in the hand here. Yep, there it is. Dinobot dealing 3. Even Ivan finishing it off. And a reap from Smoko. Up to 12. So unless Steele has some really big Long Fingers play that I'm not seeing here, I think that might be the end of the road. Going Dis. What am I missing? Waking Nightmare? You need a big Waking Nightmare turn. I'm very curious to see if this is just a play out or if she has something here. Okay. Gateway. Finally get rid of that Pismire. That's it. That's the game. Wow. To get up to 2 keys and 7 amber after that, insane mid-game burst of amber there is very, very impressive. Steele really held on, pushed through, but just short there, just short. Incredible game. Really great playing from both players. What a fun series. I really enjoyed commentating. I really enjoyed watching that. I hope all of you enjoyed it as much as I did, and as I'm sure the players did. I've been Brobnar89. My channel is Cull the Week. I do a show with Shaka, who is actually currently playing in his KFPL game right now. That's why he is not here. Yeah, check us out. Look for more KFPL games coming at you from us, coming at you from Jupiter, and the KFPL stream coming at you from the Screechbabomb commentary, and a whole lot of other places. Whole lot of streams and channels going to be running KFPL games. So keep your eyes open for some of that high level play. Thank you all once again for watching, and we'll see you next time.